Developing story happening now in downtown Albany. Police on high alert this morning. A gunman is on the run after a wild drive-by shooting overnight not far from police headquarters.
Newsroom once again with a final check of our snowfall here at the studio.
Yeah, the snow started falling around 3 o'clock this morning. It's historic for this area because it's the first snowfall that we've had since 2010. It came down for a good solid hour, and you can already see where it is piled up here on the car.
Fire and live wires don't mix. Albany firefighters running for safety. Flames hitting electrical lines as they battled a late-night house fire. Luckily, no one was home when that fire engulfed a house on the city's south side. It broke out around 11:30 on Riley Street. WALB News 10's Nicole Rosales is live at the scene this morning where firefighters just wrapped up checking for more hot spots. Ask you this question. There's been so much talk about security concerns there. There was this warning about toothpaste bombs on planes. We've heard that some U.S. teams have hired extra security just to make sure that they're safe. Has this affected the mood there at all in Sochi? Did you have any idea that this was going on? Any idea? How long was this gentleman employed here? Can you tell me that? Incompetent, it could take the death penalty off the table, but it also begs the question, how could a man who tests mentally retarded have been hired to work as a jailer for Doherty County?
As a jailer, if he is in fact mentally retarded.
Yeah, you know, he never finished his probationary period, and there's some other evidence.
Here's a little bit of snow for you. I'll bring it back to the desk when I head in there in just a few minutes.
You know me well.
Quick little turnaround.
Yeah.
Back from the elements, and as promised, there is Carla. He sands some snow. This is what I got. This is South Georgia's smallest snowman this morning on our set. I'm getting tired of holding it. It's making my hands cold. So here you go, my gift from me to you. Snow. The issue this morning, Ben, maybe when the sun comes up a little bit, we'll be able to see it. But talking about some of the legislative matters this session, health care is a big topic, and the Democratic minority will be pointing out the governor's refusal to accept funding under the Affordable Care Act. And it appears Obamacare will be the big divider between Democrats in the GOP majority.
Yeah, the governor turned down.
Now let's get straight to that breaking news. Within the past few hours, we've learned from relatives Mayor Chris Wright's mother was tied up inside their Dawson home. When he went inside, that's when he was shot multiple times. Right. Tornado outbreak killed at least 8 people. That is the figure this morning, and it is really hard to imagine how anyone survived looking at that devastation, the aftermath of the deadly Midwest tornado.
If this was a drive-by shooting or if someone actually came up and shot this young man, but I can tell you there was a barrage of gunfire. Check out this Chevy Tahoe there in the parking lot. It's surrounded by crime scene tape. There are actually bullet holes in that car and a number of evidence markers there on the ground. And we're going to go.
An oil recycling plant in Valdosta. Viewer video captured smoke billowing from the facility. Right now, Valdosta firefighters and EPA officials are still on the scene monitoring the situation when an SUV skidded on a patch of slick road. Wow. The SUV came within inches of hitting the tow truck driver, taking full responsibility for the gridlock that gripped Atlanta. We're calling it Snow Jam. We've been talking about it for a couple of days. Still people reeling from that. Thousands of people were stranded in their vehicles. There was even a report last night that a baby was delivered on I-85 by an officer. So there's a lot of people there that are experiencing major problems. If you could just look out your window right now, how many cars can you see out there?
Hundreds. It's as far back.
London now for a live shot. You know, all the talk this morning about one very popular baby. There's a shot outside of St. Mary's Hospital where those royal fans are waiting for the very first glimpse of the new prince. A Chilean family woke up to a shocking breakfast guest. They found this 2-year-old puma in their kitchen. Yeah, according to local reports, a family member said, I guess. Well, controversy is brewing on the campus of Wellesley College in Massachusetts. Check this out. Imagine waking up, looking out your window and seeing this. It's a statue of a mostly naked man sleepwalking. It's a piece of art. Part of an exhibition of sculptors' work.
No campus anyway, so why?
It's art. Well, it's making our news this morning, so obviously, you know, they got their point across. It got attention. Okay. It's not pretty to look at, though.
Well, also
possible that more stolen guns could be out there on the streets. As of this afternoon, they were typing up warrants. More arrests are anticipated. They do say that if you did purchase one of those guns off the streets, the best thing you can do is call police and tell them your story before they kick in your door. For now, we're reporting live on the east side. Don and Ben, back to you.
Yes, I know without a shadow of a doubt that my son's innocent.
Stacy Nelson says it came as an absolute shock when officers arrested her son Wednesday for threatening to blow up Worth County High.
I'm like this right here by me being a parent, that if you do the crime, you're going to do the time. I would never uphold my child in anything like that.
Nelson says it was impossible for a 16-year-old son to have phoned in the threat Monday afternoon to 911. She contends he was with her at the time and had no access to a cell phone. Through an open records request, we obtained the audio of that call.
Where's 1001?
I'm going to go to high school tomorrow. There's later, because it's a drunk bomb.
We played that recording for Nelson, who heard it for the first time.
Where's 1001?
I'm going to go to high school tomorrow. There's later, because it's a drunk bomb.
That ain't none of my child.
We haven't went and just handpicked, one individual, student that we say, this has got to be him.
Sylvester Police Investigator Ronnie Grady says the phone threat, which set off a series of copycat written threats at Worth Middle and elementary schools, was investigated thoroughly. The evidence they have against the 16-year-old is substantial.
We would not have effected the arrest or taken this juvenile into custody if we didn't feel like that we had sufficient evidence to prove his guilt.
Nelson says her son was home sick that day and had been in trouble before at school. She believes that may have led to the accusation. Still, she feels the real caller is still out there.
Please, so they can free my child, because he didn't do this.
Because I don't, have fault or blame this mother for defending her child, and I just think, the facts of the case will present itself, in due time.
I want my boy. That's what I want, more than anything else in this world.
Chuck Richards' 20-year-old son Ben is in a fight for his life. The young Darton College wrestler collapsed Wednesday while on a 5-mile run with wrestling teammates.
And the doctor told me that it may not end well for Ben. And not knowing exactly what he meant, I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "This is a procedure where Ben could die."
When Ben Richards was rushed to Phoebe Wednesday, his temperature was 107 degrees. Now his kidneys are in failure.
As a dad, what are you thinking when you hear that about your son?
It pretty much devastated me.
Devastating and also hard to understand why Ben and his wrestling teammates were even out running Wednesday. Just the day before, teammate Alex Washington collapsed in the heat while training and was rushed to the hospital. Darton Athletic Director Mike Kiefer says after Tuesday's incident, changes were made in the team's practice routine.
I have spoke with the coaches, and they did modify the workouts on the 2 days from day 2 versus day 1. I don't know the exact modifications.
Washington remains in serious condition in CCU, but he's developed pneumonia. Ben Richards' father isn't focused necessarily on what went wrong, but instead what needs to go right for his son, and he has a request.
If you're a believer, and I mean if you're a real one, the Lord, just pray for my boy over these next 24 hours.
Those crucial hours that will determine the fate of a young man with so much to live for. In Albany, Cade Fowler, WALB News 10.